Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sellik the Thunder podcast. I think we're on episode number 44, I think.
43 or 44.
So if it's 44,
I think it's 44, aye.
Stephen McManus, isn't it? That's the one, Stephen McManus. So, it's good to be here. Well, like, you'll notice there's a difference. We're not in the usual surroundings of the G4 Claim studio. We're here live from the Axom Studios. A massive shout out to Paul John Dykes and everybody else at Axom who are having us along this afternoon. As you know, it's the big charity weekender for what is a great cause. You'll see it rolling across the bottom of your screen here. Please, if you can, if you have already, that's fantastic. Help out the charity weekender by making a donation. Everything going towards St Mary's Parish down in the Calton. So yeah, it's brilliant to be here, isn't it, boys? Aye. It's a little bit different. How you feeling?
Out as well.
Aye, we just about made it.
Belted it space. I mean, Ryan nearly killed us on the drive out here, to be fair. A fair few times.
Don't make it out as if my driving was not that bad here, right? It's Edinburgh. Right? I'm never out in this direction. I don't know where I'm going.
Can I just point out that Ryan thought he'd seen a Wallace-Will farm and nearly drove us right up the pavement because he never turned in time.
I was hungry, right? I was hungry. So it's weird getting used to actually like looking at you two because usually we sit in
sitting having to do all
the
that.
same row and I'm like, aye, how you doing? So we're going to have to just roll with it. Natural causes and all the rest of it. I am buzzing the comments section here as well. So thank you to everybody who is joining in on the stream, and we'll bring up anything as things go along. We'll have a Q&A session as we always do towards the end of the podcast. But yeah, let's get right into it, boys. Let's talk about what we need to talk about. Kieran, you're back from Leverkusen. I know we've touched on it. I don't want to keep bringing up the trip, but you've recovered now. How are you feeling?
Well, if you asked me yesterday, I was fine, but the day I'm a bit rough, you know. Is it the Celtic Thunder if I'm no rough or missing because I'm rough? So,
this is when the comment section starts accusing Kieran of being an alcoholic. That
people are going to start sending me helpline numbers.
But it's all for a good cause. I had a fun night last night.
That was good. Expensive.
McGinley, let's get right into it because we've got a lot to talk about. Celtic against Hearts on Wednesday night. It was a 1-0 win. The ball keeps rolling. Even if it's offside goals.
Was it offside though?
If it was,
definitely it was offside, but it wasn't as clear cut as people are trying to make it.
It wasn't like it's not a pure conspiracy theory either. I mean, Bobby Madden had a bad game.
I know, it was a poor
whether or not it was onside or offside, he was awful for both teams.
I mean, well, we could talk about Madden. Of course, the linesman has more of a sort of involvement in this.
Rangers fans have found out who that is, isn't it?
Oh, have they? What's his name?
I think he's a Celtic fan or something.
Is that McCafferty?
It's a Mick. I know it's a
good old McCafferty name. That's the maiden name. But we've seen so much reaction for that goal. Kieran, you love shooting from the hip. You know, you see it as it is. Chris Boyd, Robbie Nielsen, all the reaction. What have you made of it so far?
I mean, Chris Boyd's an absolute embarrassment here, man. Like he's so desperate to be their version of Chris Sutton, but he's not got. I seen somebody tweet at that exact time, but said he's not got the IQ to back it up, man. He's not got two brain cells to rub together, and it actually shows like the petulance in that studio the other day. And the way Stan Petrov looked at him, they won her.
Yeah, just laughing at him.
You see his look, boy. That was 2.5 minutes. He ranted on for 2.5 minutes over. Look, listen.
What was it the night before? But hard-boiled eggs, soft-boiled eggs.
Still an egg.
Of course, he's talking about food, the fat dick.
But like he's on there. He's being smug about it on Wednesday night. You know, whether it's a penalty or not, you know, that's been up for debate. Was it soft? The whole soft-boiled egg, hard-boiled egg, whatever. The whole reaction he gave to that. But yet the next night he's losing his marbles over, another dodgy decision. So, it swings and roundabouts in this league as we keep hearing. But he can't hack it one way as soon as the other way. It's maybe on the telly giving an unbiased account of things, but it's impossible for Chris Boyd, isn't it?
Absolutely. He's definitely got his blue-tinted specs on, that's for sure. Do you not give the advantage to the attacker anyway in that sort of situation? If it's only a couple inches, if you don't have VAR, obviously.
What I don't understand is Chris Boyd, fantastic goal scoring records of players. We know he scored a lot of goals.
Stat padder.
Stat padder, yes. But is he claiming he's never scored an offside goal in his life? Because he's made it as a war crime. You know, the way that he's made it out in that situation, it's not, it's all very well and good going. The referee got it wrong. It's a poor decision. But he's lost the place, and he's acting as if, okay, we'll go. And it seems like there is that little bit of a witch hunt now coming in there for
Oh, no, it's the fact, but like, if it was Morelos doing it, I've seen somebody say on Twitter, like, they would laud him and say, it's just part of his edge. Like, being, that's just who he is. But when Kyogo does it, it's outcrying. But the thing is, like, if Morelos done this, it would have been that. I'm like, well, you can't just say that for everything. It's just
but that's the go-to now, isn't it? It's, you know, as soon as something happens, it's if this was Morelos at the front, it's you know, the gag from The Simpsons, say the line. That's just became the standard now, and I don't understand. It's
must be
frustrating.
Good. Kyogo must be good if there's this big witch hunt going against him.
Oh yeah, well,
they're feared of him, and they should be. They should be feared of
jealousy, maybe.
Absolutely,
a bit of jealousy that they don't have a player like Kyogo.
He moves more than 20 minutes, and Morelos does the whole game.
Yeah, I want to just shout out very quickly. We've got all these live viewers. Thank you very much for tuning in. A few guys in the comments, so we've got people saying that they're glad to see us in the studio and such. But a big shout out to Kookaburra, who's put in good day from Australia, to Ryan Kieran and in the know Ryan. It's 2:20 a.m. here. I had the alarm set so I wouldn't miss you.
Oh, I love that.
That's fantastic.
I love Australia. Do you know? You see this past 6 months, I absolutely love Australia.
I do. And yeah, we'll see. So let's talk about. This is the one thing I wanted to kind of revolve the podcast around today, in a sense. VAR in Scottish football. Chris Boyd was, as we've already touched on, he was very clear in his thoughts. He was very clear in what he was wanting. And I want to hear your reactions and your sort of opinions to this in the chat as well. Are you pro VAR? Are you pro vaccination? Are you anti vaccination?
That's going in a very different route, man.
Are you pro VAR or not? Let me hear your justifications. But Ryan, you're all for the modernisation of football. We all know about it. So you're inside with Chris Boyd in this situation?
No, can you be? I do want VAR, but
not in the same.
I don't want it to rule a goal off.
No, exactly. Aye, if it's to do with Rangers, aye. And
this is, look, I'm so against VAR, right? I'm completely against it. I would scrap the whole notion of VAR, to be honest. I don't like it, and I've made that abundantly clear on my channel numerous times. I just don't like it at all. But to me, you know, he's gone on about it and he's given it, get VAR in Scottish football, get it in, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, there's one team who's going to feel the effects more than any other, and I do believe that's Rangers.
Would it not be mid-table if it wasn't for...
I mean, I wouldn't go as far.
Not mid-table.
I'm not trying to be bitter about things, but I don't know. Right, Kieran, I'll start with you, because I know McGinley wants to come in and pro VAR. I don't really know your stance on this.
I was just thinking, I don't really know either, because I'm... not on the fence as such, but I change my mind all the time, like, depending on if it would help Celtic or not.
That's fair enough.
No, but it's like, that's the thing. You get this. It's got to be the way you get decisions for you, you get decisions against you. I've seen Celtic get a couple of positive things out of VAR in the brief time that we've got to use it in Europe. I mean, Copenhagen, we got the penalty.
Yep.
Bayer Leverkusen, we got the penalty. So I mean, but I don't know, because it does end up getting the right call, but it's how much it disrupts the game. And it's, I mean, what is it? The SFA or whatever, SPFL were saying they were going to be able to fund it.
Yep.
So they would cover the cost of it. I'm like, where's this money coming from to cover that?
Yeah. My whole thing on VAR in Scottish football is, okay, if you like the sort of it and the notion of it, like, okay, fair enough. People, all these Rangers fans have suddenly flooded in after that incident the other night, went, well, that'll correct the mistake. We should be 7 clear, that it should be a draw, whatever, this, that, next thing. I don't trust any of our Scottish referees have any sort of competence levels to actually use VAR successfully. I'm very, very set on that vision. I can't see Kevin Clancy operating it well. I can't see Bobby Madden. I can't see McLean. I can't see Tom. I can't see any of them. What's the wee Ian Column? I can't see.
The wee column.
The wee column. I can't see any of them using it successfully. So, you know, there's someone here that's suggesting the chat bring in foreign referees. You know, we're talking about
that 1 week that we had foreign referees. It was class.
Aye, when was that again?
It was a good 8-9 years ago.
Aye. What was the reason for that? Was it just
the referees went on strike? Did they not?
Oh, that's right. Aye, but you know, I just can't see Clancy, as I see his name put in capital letters. Clancy. I can't see him using it well. Ryan, you're pro VAR. I don't know, mate. Do you not think it takes away from the beauty of football a little bit? And
it does a wee bit. Yeah.
Look at how much we've seen Celtic benefit from dodgy goals and how many moments in football the hand of. I just think that the natural beauty of football goes, and I know we can say, okay, we can correct mistakes to make sure teams get what they deserve. Celtic still deserved their win the other night. So I don't know. This
is the thing. This is the other narrative that's coming about, that they would have got something out of the game if it wasn't for that decision. I think if Celtic hadn't have got that goal, they would have won by 2 or 3.
I think we
still would have. I reckon we still would have.
I think we would have found the goal.
Aye, absolutely. Especially the way we were playing in the first half, we were absolutely battering them. We just stopped when the injuries came.
Yep.
In terms of VAR, I do like the idea of it. I know that it takes away from the game in a way, but I like the way it's getting implemented in the Premier League this season. They've obviously made changes. There was obviously going to be teething issues last season, and you've seen that. Some of the amount of time for certain goals in the Premier League was absolutely awful. But this season they've cut it down a wee bit. It has improved.
I think, I would agree it's improved. I'm still just not I hate all this.
But I loved it in the Euros. I think it adds something as well, though. I know it takes away, but it also adds something as well.
I'm just agreeing with your point. It's just thinking about like doing Premier League, that they've sort of sorted out the times that it takes. But I'm just imagine the referees up here having to try and use that.
They would be getting abuse as
it does.
Check the camera.
One thing I would say, it would take away the character of the Scottish game that a lot of people like. It's a contentious issue.
Because that's something that people are just scared to see the league try and develop a bit and modernise, because I know you're saying it takes away the edge of it and that, because we always pride ourselves up here, it's real football, real fans, like, but I don't know, there's debates for both sides, but I'm not entirely sure where I fall on it. I suppose do you think it will come in? If they're funding it,
obviously we've heard
this.
Has
there been a vote yet? No.
Like I've got a message in there with Kevin Graham. Your Uncle Brian says, "Stop talking rubbish. Nice to see you, first day, mate." My Uncle Brian, I love him. But you know, I don't know. I don't think it will come in. I don't. Even though we've heard this, that it can be funded. I just don't see it. I don't know why. Maybe in a few years' time, not in any immediate.
Would goal line to? I mean, like, see the fact that it's been this long. There's no goal line technology up here, and then we're ready to just go for the full whack.
I know exactly. I agree.
Do we get both then?
I know. I mean, if it's VAR, you'd say.
VAR can check.
I mean, as the Scottish League, they would probably do.
Well, they don't have the one fucking camera angle. That's one thing I've not considered. You know, how like this all this VAR stuff. Like, are we going to just use? What's going to happen when fucking Hamilton are back in the league and they've got the one camera set up? It's going to be useless. And they're going to draw the lines out there. I really don't understand.
Because
that was the problem last night. On Thursday. Sorry, try to look at the offside, because there's no proper camera angle that makes it clear as day.
I don't know. I just don't feel like it's. You were sitting kind of holding back. I can read your face something. When I said I don't think I'll see it come in, do you think it'll come in?
I think it will come in eventually. Yeah.
Do you think anytime soon?
The next couple of years, I would say.
Not
like straight away.
I feel
there's too many pros and cons.
See, the thing is, it's such a hot topic at the minute because of what's happened over the past week. Rangers getting that penalty, Celtic getting that goal.
Did you see the thing that they posted on their Twitter? They gave the almighty Giovanni's opinion on VAR.
Oh, I see
the next day. Funny timing that, a day after a contentious decision.
But you know, it's on a hot topic just now. Unless we keep seeing these goals coming over the next few weeks, it's going to die down again. No one's going to be bringing it up, I don't think.
Until the next incident.
It's just one of those things, isn't it? I think that there's got to be something massive to get it rushed in. I think something's going to happen, a league deciding moment, which these goals might be. But I think that would maybe usher in.
If something happens, if it goes to like a helicopter Sunday style thing, but and something happens on that, you would definitely it could be us. If it happened to us,
with that.
Oh,
they should get it. They should have had it for East End Park back in 2004 or 5. What year was it? When Dunfermline lay down? Yes, lay down. Gone Sutton style. They had it.
Beautiful, love that.
Oh, beautiful. Well, he hates it when I bring that up, but it's got to be done. Look, VAR. It's such a hot topic. I think that Nielsen's reaction, though, let's just touch on that very fine. What a fucking helmet. I mean, how else do you fucking wrap it up? I mean, Jesus Christ almighty.
He's
number one.
Great, man.
Sort your fucking dress code out, man. He looks like a wanker. A right wanker. I go say white ranker. He looks like a right wanker. But he's sitting greeting, and Ange's response is brilliant. I love Ange's response.
Won it at 3 points.
If anybody thinks the referee decided to book that game, they were watching a different game. I think he's spot on. I think he's spot on.
I mean, he's not. We know that about Ange. Doesn't he suffer fools when he's getting asked these questions? I'll try to get a reaction at him, but he's managed to keep himself composed, unlike Nielsen, who's went all guns blazing trying to say all that. But Robbie Nielsen, I preferred when the Hearts fans pure hated him as well, man. Honestly.
Aye.
I just don't like him, man.
He's a very angry man, isn't he?
And Nielsen.
He greets face. He just greets all the time. And to be fair, Michael Stewart was greeting on Sportsound as well. He was.
I've not actually seen Michael Stewart's reaction.
Robbie Nielsen and Barry Mackay cut each other's hair, I think, man, honestly.
Honestly, I know. I'm not one for. I don't like seeing the items being thrown at Barry Mackay the weekend. I wasn't a fan of that. But can I honestly just say for a minute that I didn't even realise it was him.
No,
during the game, I had no idea it was him because of that hair. What is that?
It was almost like Ryan Hedges.
I couldn't even see the hair, obviously, because my eyesight is shocking. And after a few pints,
we went for a few pints before the game, obviously, right? And we're sitting there watching the second half, I think. And Kieran just turned around at me and went, It's just a green and white blur. I couldn't make it a fucking
I
thing.
can't see.
But Matthew Duff makes a great point in here. I think the difference in the reactions from both managers shows why Ange's managing Celtic and Nielsen's managing Hearts. Nielsen's not going to let himself go much further if he's greeting a bit. It's football. And it just comes back to the same point I made earlier. It'd be different if the referee made a decision that was wrong if he was 10, 12 yards offside. I know. It's this, innit, man? You know, it's a literal ball here.
People are seeing him ahead of the defenders and they're instantly thinking, oh, he's a mile off, but you need to hang it up with where the ball is.
Yep. But yeah, anything else you want to add in points to the Hearts game before we start talking about the future?
See, just briefly about the things getting thrown at Barry McKay. Obviously, it's stupid. I don't understand why people are doing it. It's just daft people and like.
It's in, but it's like this the favour.
No, but it's another thing where like people are getting your Rangers fans like that. What's his name?
Joe Black.
Joe Black. He was having a totally normal one on Twitter, but
50 odd tweets.
70 odd was it? No, I think it went up to 70.
But it was shut that place down. Somebody's gonna get fucking killed. I'm like, what? But it's the people that come out and like shocking throwing things. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like, it's just pure what about it? Like it's bad that it happens in general, but don't act like it's never happened. Like in any Rangers fans especially pipe them up. Like fair enough, it's not a good thing to happen, but to try and kid on it, it's pot kettle black, man.
Yep. It's irritating because I feel like, you know, especially with the section of the stadium it's came from, we see this sort of, they tar the whole group, tar the whole, it's individual.
It's mere ammunition.
It's individual stupidity, and let's not like that. You know, let's not that
police every member or every person
that sits around that. It might not even have came from 111 for all you know. It might have came from any of the two surrounding set. You don't know when it's came.
They're a very easy target. They are at times, aren't they?
And it's moments of individual stupidity.
There's too many people in our support that older people in the support that are just choking for any opportunity to try and criminalise them. Honestly,
that's it. It's easy. But yeah, hopefully there's sanctions and see the consequences.
You've been arrested, the 24-year-old.
It wasn't me. 24-year-old.
I made it out for this.
You think you'd know a bit better at 24? I know maybe we've had a drink and that, but come on.
And
you're probably banned for life as well after doing it. And sure, you've thrown away the best hobby of your life, going to the football. It's gone.
Why jeopardise that?
Matthew's just put in there, he was told to leave the section by members. So there you go. That just shows you then, and we'll still hear that sort of criminalisation.
That should be the end of it. That should draw the line. They've actually done all they can do there.
Yeah. Just before we move on to the next topic, I quickly want to say, I've just seen the tweet there from Paul. He's put out, or Paul John, sorry. They've hit £15,700 in donations to St Mary's Church. So that is madness. Thank you to everybody on behalf of the guys obviously running the weekend. But it's brilliant to be along anyway. I'm enjoying myself. It's going to struggle to get home, but
I know.
Have I got to Wallisville farm?
Might as well.
We nearly died for it.
Make a wee day out of that, man.
Drive over the pavement as I was trying to do in the way.
I was just allowing it to happen. I was just watching you do it. And
God took the wheel. I mean, there was points in that drive where the God could have took the wheel.
I think Ollie was at the wheel at that point.
Oh. Don't be disrespectful. Don't be disrespectul to the audience. Yeah, we've got a lot to talk about. So let's go. Because it's about 35. It's 25 to 4. We've got a little bit longer than we first thought as well. But just a quick update for anybody who is listening and doesn't know the score in any of the games. It's currently Aberdeen 2, St Mirren 0, Hibernian 0, Motherwell 0, and Rangers 0, Dundee 0. You were hoping for a goal.
I was hoping that.
You're really elongating that.
You need to do it like the class of it. He's on the bench.
He's on the bench, yeah.
I'm not trying to think if I actually bottled it to take Aberdeen the day or not. I've seen the odds.
It's 2-0 up. It looks as though that game will be done and dusted. I went down to Basel doing from David 0-0 down at Hamilton. Right, okay, let's talk about our game this weekend because this is massive. In this month of fixtures that are just going to be painful to watch to an extent, but at the same time, brilliant to watch. I'm loving Celtic.
Every 3 days.
Yeah, every 3 days. It keeps the channel busy and keeps us busy in the podcast. We're going to be on our toes. A lot of people in the comments as well, keep it coming. I'll try and throw some up on screen as the lads are talking away. Kieran, just your luck, we had a real good chance of getting tickets for this game. I understand the shit.
I know. What was it, Storm Alban? Was that what
whatever its fucking name is.
Done everybody dirty there, man. People, I think, but there's people that like for the bus now that have been going everywhere and they know they've not got a ticket.
Yeah, it's
lucky boys.
Aye, so tell your story. What you doing tomorrow?
Hospitality boys.
Hospitality. He's turning up to
suited and booted.
He's turning up to Tannadice in a fucking suit and suits and ties and us bastards, we're wearing our tracksuits.
In my house. I think I'll be in a house coat, to be honest.
Well, I'll be in my boxers probably. But you've got hospitality tickets, aye?
Friend of a friend, we get some tickets.
So have you got to clarify here? Have you got to pretend you're a Dundee United supporter, or can you go in cheering the hoops?
I feel like in the prawn sandwich brigades in there,
I feel you're not cheer all together. I feel like it's a respectable clap for anything.
Not a full hand,
jazz hands.
It's a theatre. You've got to be what do you call them? Respect. Binocular.
I think I'm going to be ice creams you get at half time.
That as well. But aye, fair play, Ryan. You're going to enjoy that. But
that'd be great.
The game itself is massive for Celtic. Once again, we have to keep the ball rolling. Tannadice okay, and it's the potential of a banana skin place. It's a tough place to go, and Dundee United have had a very strong season. What are you expecting tomorrow?
I mean, they gave us a tough game at Celtic Park, and for any team to come to Celtic Park and give us a game, I mean, it's, you know, they're no mugs. I mean, what was it, the host midweek to Motherwell away? Yep. But I don't know, Dundee United have got some good players in their team. I think they're having a few injury issues with their midfielders now. They've not got the starting man, I think. Was that Fuchs back? Because mind the whole incident with him and the fan.
Oh, aye.
No, that wasn't even him. That was Ojo.
Ojo, aye.
Because it was at 10, I think, so I was getting confused. But I think he's injured a bit. But I don't know. It's just, they're a decent team. I mean, Tannadice, as you say, it's a hard place to go to. Last season, but we beat them 1-0 in a one of the classic struggle games at the start that was quite...
People know the cracks, definitely, even at the start of the season.
We drew up there in that age to allow Rangers to win the league last year as well. So it's a tough place to go. Hopefully we get the result and keep the ball rolling.
Yep, they've got Fuchs and Levitt injured. The midfield was hopeless against Motherwell, says Matthew Duff. Thank you very much for keeping us in the right. But talking about injury issues, you know, Celtic have got quite a few of their own. We are hearing that Welsh, Ralston and Jota won't be available. I think it's the last sort of update for the game tomorrow. That's huge. I mean, I think that the Welsh one isn't as big because we should be seeing Carter Vickers come back, and that'll be hopefully the partnership of Starfelt and Carter Vickers back. But it's still not an issue you want. And with Ralston and Jota, that's huge if those two miss the game tomorrow.
I think Jota's the biggest one because we've got Juranovic, and Juranovic got a wee bit of practice the other night playing at right back, his favoured position. I saw there was a wee bit of beef between him and Ange about his position. Jota will be the big miss. He's our best player, I would say.
Who's coming in at left back then?
It's probably going to be Montgomery, isn't it?
Or Taylor if he's back fit. I don't know how fit he is.
Where's Bolly?
Wait, I know that. Is this one of the...
Is this why the team's going to get carted out for the...
He's trusted on away days.
I still don't understand that whole Bolly situation. Now, this on paper would be the perfect job because, can I be quite honest, I know this might rub a lot of people the wrong way. I'm not a big fan of Montgomery.
I think he's a winger. I don't think he's a left back.
He's very raw.
He's. I'm not saying that he's done.
No, he's got plenty of time.
Again, but at the left back position, doesn't fill me with confidence. And so this is a chance for Bolly to come in. Willie, I don't know because it just seems the treatment of him is very...
It's odd, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't want to come out and condemn it or condone it or whatever because I don't know what happens behind closed doors, but it is just very odd.
He's either starting or he's not playing at all. He's not even in the on the bench. It's a really, really weird one.
I know, that's the thing, but December for Celtic in the past few seasons has been quite a thing for redemption arcs, I think. Players getting in the congested fixture list and then getting their chance in the team. It's probably now or never if he was to come in tomorrow and play, because I think he'll be at the door in January. Ange came out and said there will be people leaving, there'll be people going out on loan in that for the squad as well, probably including people like Shaw and Urugide.
Maybe even Scales, who knows.
Scales is an option
people are saying, you know, so I'll throw up this comment on screen. We've got Stevie Boy, he said, Bolly, Montier, Scales, anyone could fit in there. Scales, there must be a reason he's not been involved at all. Is he ready to play for Celtic? Well, you've already got your conspiracy
theory. Straight from Kerry.
That it was made to have you heard this one?
No.
I never knew that Dermot Desmond owned Shamrock Rovers.
Did you know?
No, never knew that. So he is...
We're in for another guy in January as well.
He thinks it's to balance the books, you say, or something?
Dodgy dealings.
Ange gets one signing, Dermot Desmond gets three. That's just the way it works.
But yeah, look, I think Montgomery will be the option. I think he will play. But the Jota one is the big issue. That's huge.
No.
I mean, because what we're thinking, what happens tomorrow? Do we put Abada in the left? Do we put Forrest in the left?
I think Forrest goes in the left.
Yeah, I think so. I'd rather do that than play Mikey Johnson at the moment. I feel bad for piling
that's
on
one. Look, I feel it's not like I want to sit here and I want to pile on somebody, as you say, but he's not good enough for Celtic.
I was saying the other night that he's stagnated, but he's actually went back the way. He's worse than what he was a couple of years ago. He can't beat a man.
Mine was saying it was the game the other night. I think there was one opportunity to try to take on just walked right at him.
I know. See, his chance to properly break into the team was hampered by injury a couple of seasons ago, and I think that's probably threw him right off track. No chance he's getting back, I don't think. Once again, prove me wrong.
Prove me wrong. That's it. I would like to be proven wrong, but how many times are we going to say that about Mike?
That's the thing, because he'll have a couple of games, then he'll get injured again.
Yeah.
How many games has he played in a row in his Celtic career? 5, 6 maybe?
Glass ankles, man.
Glass ankles. That's a big part.
He needs to go in the Christie programme, put on a bit of beef and come back.
It's the thing is, he's not getting any younger.
No.
He's not getting any younger.
You always call him young Mikey.
People keep talking as if he's just broke into the team and he's 18 years old.
He made his debut coming up for 5 years ago now.
Was he 22, 23 now?
22, I think.
His debut was about 17, didn't he?
He's not getting younger. I honestly don't think that Celtic's his level. I really don't. And I feel harsh and look, prove me wrong.
I feel like
it's a game of opinion.
See if it wasn't, I'm agreeing with the Christie in terms. See, I think if it had injuries and that never happened, I think he should have had a loan deal to like a Hibs or something before now, because that turned Christie's career around.
It did. That Aberdeen move was huge for him, and we could have maybe seen something like that for
because he was the main man at Aberdeen as well.
That's what a player like that needs. Gives them confidence, and then they can come back and believe they can actually play in the Celtic team.
Yeah.
Offside goals will help them more. I'll take any of those. I don't mind the offside goal, but at least we've still got that goal threat up front of course, Kyogo. We're hearing that I think it's still 3 to 4 weeks before Giakoumakis will be back.
He's missing the cup final.
I mean, that's mad. I mean, Giakoumakis. I know that's a complete.
When was he got injured again?
He had to go and see a knee specialist
because it wasn't like he got injured in a game. It was like just came out that he's going to be missing a few games or something like that. Dundee United are a team who defensively will cause a lot of issues. We've seen how hard it is to score goals into them, and we've seen that all season. Their defensive record has been pretty good in comparison. If you take all the games into the course of the season, try to find my words there. So it's going to be hard to beat them without that presence of Jota. Ryan, how do we set up in the midfield for you? Because we do know that Rogic is back, of course, and I thought he had a solid game for Thursday night.
Others didn't.
Others didn't. We had, of course, got McGregor. We've got, that because we've not got Jota there. Do we maybe change it up? Do we maybe bring Beaton back in, or do you think we should?
It's a weird one because I was saying the second half, I thought we lost control of the midfield a bit for about 10-20 minutes against Hearts. I would probably put Beaton in there, put McGregor further forward, and Turnbull
gets trapped, I think.
I think Turnbull gets
dropped. He's been pretty anonymous.
Only thing is, though, Rogic has just came back. He played 90 minutes.
True. But I think we need Rogic on Sunday, because see if they're setting up like hard to beat, hard to get a ball in behind or whatever for Kyogo. You need somebody with Rogic's technical ability to just try and either play a pass right through, the pass that nobody sees, which he does plenty of times, or even just go a run, because the ball is glued to his feet most of the time, and you need that level of quality.
And I hate to say it, but we're a better team with Rogic in the team than without it.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't going to say that last season before. Maybe.
See, the issue we had before Rogic got injured was him and Turnbull. We were arguing, can they play in the same team in that? Now we're going to have to go back to, if we do change it and put Beaton in. I quite like the idea of that, playing the midfield three, Beaton, McGregor and Rogic.
Let's bring this question up, because me and McGinley were talking about this the other day. You put up on Twitter, and you've said in the podcast before, and I've never actually, I've always nodded, and I've always kind of not agreed, but I understand what you said. We spoke about this before the game. We messaged us, so I want to have your opinion on this, and I'd like to hear the opinions in the chat as well. So McGinley put up a tweet the other day, and I don't know if you might have passed it, Kieran, but saying put McGregor back into that sort of CDM position because you think he plays better there. I personally don't agree. I personally think I'd rather Beaton play in there or sign someone else to play in there. I like McGregor better with a partner rather being a pivot player, and I like him being a little bit higher up. McGinley's point, I think, is fit. I'm not saying McGinley's completely in the wrong. I just personally think it's a difference. So what do you think?
I feel like he's been having to play in the defensive role because we've had a lack of people that can play that role now at Celtic. He was having to cover for Scott Brown for a good bit last season, having to do half of the work that Scott Brown should have been doing, but we just never had the legs for it.
Yep.
So I don't know, because McGregor obviously started his career playing a lot further forward, and he's had to sort of, not regress is not the word, but have to come back a bit. I like the versatility that he can cover both positions, but I think maybe as a sort of ball carrying midfielder taking us up the park, he's got the actual, as I say, technical ability as well. But I don't think I wouldn't have him right in the attacking midfield role. As I said, we're a partner, but
I like him when he's playing for Scotland, when he's got somebody beside him.
Him and Gilmore.
Him and Gilmore. I mean, that would just be if that was Celtic, Christ would be.
I don't think his mum would allow it.
No, not at all. But I don't think you make bad points about him again. I think we had a very good conversation about it when I was jogging to the pub to meet you. I was jogging through that tunnel under the main the south stand. Sitting on the north stand, sitting, jogging through. The place is empty right enough, but we were talking about it. I think he's just too. I think he carries a goal threat for me. But you made some good points as well, and I'll also let you see that. But for me, McGregor carries goal threat and just too much talent to sit that far back when you could have Beaton doing a job there anyway.
I mean, Beaton's a really good sort of option as well, or alternative. But the thing is, McGregor can take the ball from Starfelt or Carter Vickers and just run with it, and he won't get marked because he's not further up the park. And he might get marked by one person, but he'll just go past him. I really like him in that sort because I think he can dictate games. His passing range is brilliant. He hardly misplaces any passes at all. And you see him even the other night. He makes basically a goal line clearing. It was a block, wasn't it? Off. And he wouldn't have got that if he was further up the pitch. So
I think that, and in response to that, for me, is I agree that he can take it. I think Beaton does well playing it out from getting.
He surprised me this season.
I think he's like that. Yeah. I just think that at that point, you make a really good point. I think he's got less pressure on him from defenders' point of view, but I don't know. Then you're relying on. I don't think your CDM necessarily should be having to go that high up the park. I think that should be McGregor's job in front of the CDM anyway. That's
unless you're sort of like Yaya Toure.
See what I find that's bit like Beaton in the midfield, so composed, man. But you move him 20 yards back and he turns into an absolute donkey, man. Genuinely, starts putting passes everywhere. Man.
He knows he's got a safety net behind him, in a form of the back four. He's better when he's got a wee bit less pressure.
He's not the last line.
Sorry, on you go.
He's been starved of he already has had a good Celtic career, but he's been starved of an even better one. He's been a centre-half for the past 4 years.
He's been a utility player the past few years, man. Yep.
Could have probably done a better job than Brown in a lot of the games.
The way that he's been playing in that central defensive midfielder role makes me think, man, we've missed this the last 4 years.
It's Rodgers that done it.
Aye, it was. But don't be disrespectful. Don't be disrespectful, Brendan. Gio Patrick says, and I think that's a point that this will be the last point I sort of make until issues to have anything you want to add in. But he says we've missed McGregor's goals. And I don't know if we've necessarily missed them because we're still scoring goals. But one thing that Gio says there makes me think is, I think people have forgot that McGregor did have a really good goal threat. And he's a guy who was very composed in front of goal. And we've not seen that in a while.
Because we've been starved it because he's been playing further back.
So I prefer him being that little bit further forward, to be quite honest.
It's good that we've got that mix that he can do either or.
Yep.
Well, this season especially, obviously the goals have been coming for Jota and Kyogo primarily, but we have sort of no-go that central attacking midfielder that's banging in the goals now, because Turnbull was doing the job last year in that position when he finally got brought into the team, but this season you said he's been a bit anonymous in some games, but I think that's maybe just in his role being changed within the team, and he's a player that might not get all the headlines now, but he's staying his job, but it's just not very glamorous.
It's not the return that you seen last season.
The goals aren't as spread out as what they used to be.
Yeah.
It's basically Kyogo, Jota, Ralston, or we're struggling a wee bit here.
Yeah. So I'm just looking for the comments here. But somebody said, don't get too comfy in Paul John's seat, Ryan. I must admit, it's quite a comfy seat.
Have you got the better seat?
It's good. It's low down, but this is the big cheese seat, as Tony said. That's what Tony said. This is the Godfather seat. I'm taking it now. So I might take up the road, but brilliant. We've got a lot. I'm looking forward to it tomorrow. So team prediction then. We'll go through that. I mean, let's have a look at Dundee United's form very quickly, just to give a sort of context. They've not been in great form. In all competitions,
last game, they were awful.
In all competitions, they've only won one of the last 6.
Wow.
They've lost the last game, drew before that, won before that, they lost twice before that, they drew before that. So one of the last 6 is only one. They might even extend beyond that. But Kieran, I know you're obviously one of the more sceptical of the group. Does that always give you a little bit of a fear that, oh no, they need something? This could be the game they turn up now.
You should look at poor form and lick your lips, man. But I know you just think, Christ, that. And no, I mean we're playing decent now. I mean, second half on Thursday wasn't a glamorous one to watch, but I still think we should be beating them. Like, with the poor run of form, I know it can give you the fear a wee bit with, this could be the game they turn it round. That let's go out there and make sure it's no, because we can't afford it to be.
Yep. Ryan.
I'm pretty confident as always.
As always. There's no point in asking, right, to be quite honest, because you know what you're going to get.
I know.
You're confident in your leader at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just glad I'm going to the game tomorrow, to be honest.
I
First
don't
away game. First away game in about 4 years or something.
See if I hear about this hospitality one more time.
Sorry, mate. Take a shot every time he says hospitality. You'll be drunk by about 4:30.
No alcohol is going in my body today.
You off it. No, I'm looking forward to the game. Quite confident. Hopefully the players that come in and replace the guys that have been doing so well in the team live up to it, and we can get another 3 points down the road. Right,
I'm going to name out the possible starting 11 for tomorrow. You tell me if you agree or you don't agree. Joe Hart and goals, quite obviously. Did you see the video of him?
When he's motor,
you can tell he regrets doing that.
I know.
You love him, don't you?
I adore him. I genuinely, never in my life have I had a bigger turnaround on somebody in football ever. I mean, because I was dead set on it was going to be a failure. It was going to be. I didn't want him to be. I wanted him to succeed. Let me just be quite clear. I wanted him to be, but I didn't think it was going to work. I thought it was a terrible signing. I didn't like him. Now I absolutely adore him. Adore the guy, and God bless him. He's decent. Joe Hart and goes in. So right back, Juranovic, do you think will go over to the right hand side of the park? Right, okay.
It's not the way I would have wanted it to happen, but I'm glad that Juranovic is in his proper position now.
Do we think Cameron Carter-Vickers will return tomorrow?
I think he's meant to be back.
Good.
So was it family issues he was away doing?
Oh, was that what it was?
Yeah. I thought it was maybe a suspension, but it wasn't.
Nah, he's only had 2 yellow cards, I think. Starfelt and Vickers then, the best centre-half partnership in the Scottish Premiership.
By far. Well, statistically,
you're the one to see it.
I don't like coming out with statements like that, but I mean, you think of the other ones.
Stats say it all, baby. And Goldson's threw away, so they're slagging him rotten, aren't they?
Fucking useless, man.
He was going to win the Ballon d'Or last season.
That's right.
Funny how things change.
Like Union Bears Player of the Year. He's got his wee trophy.
Sitting there with the banners. What was it? The Prince of Glasgow.
Oh, fuck.
Left back, Montgomery then, do you think, or do you think it will be Bolingoli or someone else? Let me know what you think. I think Montgomery.
I'm going to throw in Greg Taylor.
You think Taylor will be back?
Back in training, aye.
I don't think he was ready to actually be playing, but I don't know. Do you think we'll see a wee surprise with a Liam Scales in at left back? Or?
Nah, I really don't. I think there's
I just don't like to play Montgomery, man.
At the moment, he's a competition. He's a competition winner, isn't he?
Yep.
He's just he's like that number. What was that number that they used to put in the programme at the back? Is it number 88, like the Magnus winner?
Aye, Magnus 88.
That's what he is just now. It's a shame, but
it is a shame because I do want him to do well, obviously. But he's a Celtic player at the end of the day. But you don't want Montgomery to play, you're saying?
I just think he's too raw, and especially at left back. He's not a left back, man.
Yes, not. But I think it will be him.
He had a bad game at Pataudry, but then he got the assist.
That's right. 89 minutes of sheer shite, but he got the main thing. So just very quickly, how do you think it will be then? At left back,
probably Montgomery.
Taylor, you're saying?
I'm going to go for Taylor.
Go for Taylor, I'll go for Montgomery as well. Midfield, this is the three I think it will be tomorrow. I think it will be Beaton, McGregor, and Rogic.
We discussed that. I think I'd like to see that. I don't know if it'll be the one that actually gets put out in the park, but I don't know. Realistically, I might not see Beaton. I don't think they're going to change it up, but I'd like to see the one we just said.
What do you think will be
Beaton, Turnbull, McGregor.
Do you think Turnbull will stay?
I think Rogic will be.
Do you not think Rogic will play 60? Come off, maybe.
He could do that actually.
I think we're better having him on for the start. And
I hate this whole we'll save him for later on. No,
we need the
goals early, please. I hate that whole thing. Save him. He's a threat at the end.
I'll go for
at the end. I want the job to be done.
I'll go for Rogic then.
You go for Rogic as well. And then front three. That is the big conversation. What happens as Johnson played as Forrester back? I think if you watched what Johnson offered on Thursday night, I honestly don't think Andrew start Johnson.
No.
I think he's got to be smart about it.
Forrester be on the left.
Yeah, I think so.
Done that at the start of the season.
Forrester, Bada, we're in agreement with that.
It was working all right.
Those two have the ability though to switch wings during the game, so I think that it all kind of comes together. The famous
Ange Ball and Lenny Ball coming together.
Tactic, switch the wingers.
I think Abada's due to show something. Like he's been a bit quiet, I think. And see the way he started at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Like, I was pretty happy with that, but I mean, he's just maybe not getting the contributions that he was at the start of the season, but he's still playing all right. But I'd like to see a proper good performance for him because it's always Jota and Kyogo that have been stealing the headlines.
And finally, let's go to the last part of the Dundee United preview. Your score predictions, your favourite part of the show, boys.
3-1.
3-1. Goals for Tannadice.
I'll go 2-1.
I'm going to go 2-0. clean sheet. Starfelt man in the match again.
I'd rather see that, but I'm thinking 2-1.
Since we haven't spoke since the last podcast, how good was Starfelt on
I know he's banging, man.
I can't make my mind up about who my favourite player on the team is at the minute, but I think it is Starfelt. I kept saying it Thursday night to them on the way to the game how buzzing I was he was back in the team. I was glad we just got him back. He kept that quiet. Didn't he say he was going to be back for the game? He kept that quiet.
He's done that a couple of times, which makes me think that he might do the same with Greg Taylor.
That's a good shout. I love Starfelt. I actually adore him, and he's going to be, he's 26. He's prime.
No, we're not selling him. We ain't selling him. He's here for long term.
He's just a new, I'm not going to compare him to him, but he's just Johan Mjällby. He's a new Mjällby, mate.
And that was the same sort of situation when we signed Jillian, because the age that we're signing players, that it's no. Like, I know a centre half can, like, their best years really don't come till they're maybe about 20. So we're getting the best sort of years out of them, but I don't think there's going to be any sort of resale and players, like, especially with Julian now after a year out. But
lucky if I got £5 for Julian at this point, which is a nice segue. And actually, I want to do a couple of things before we move on to the next topic. It's around 5 to 4 just now. We were meant to have the 3 to 4 slot, but we've only been live 40 minutes, so I'd imagine we've still got about 20 minutes to go. He did say take as long as you need. He said keep going. I think on next is, who is it again? What's his face?
Tony Curran. Vincent Van Gogh and Doctor Who.
Starry night.
Was he?
Aye, was I. So you don't want to see that. But a couple of things. Shout out once again to the charity weekender. Please make sure to get in your donations if you can. We've raised anything. The guys at Axom have raised nearly £16,000 now, which is just absolutely tremendous. So please keep that coming in. The Celtic the Funder will be making a donation when I'm paid. So
Sass on Tuesday.
I am absolutely skint. So it is to help St Mary's Church in the Carlton. So the place where Celtic Football Club was, of course, founded. And you said your grandparents used to go there, didn't you?
Aye, we used to take us every Saturday.
That's where you seen
Stevie Chalmers
now, isn't it?
Got his autograph.
So yeah, make sure to do that. The second thing is, for those who are listening in who don't know the scores in the football, here is your half-time results in the Scottish Premiership. Aberdeen 3, St Mirren 1, Hibs 1, Motherwell 0, and Rangers 1, Dundee 0. The hope was short. The goal scorer was Johnny Boy. Right, okay, Christopher Jillian. That's the last thing I want to talk about before we get to the trial questions. I wasn't actually going to bring it up, but you segued nicely into it. He's never coming back, is he?
It's a weird one, isn't it?
See what I don't get about people up here raising like this is what he this is what he's injured for. Like, we're 3-0 up, Matt. Would you rather just let the ball go in the net? But you'd have been pure raging if you're like, what are you letting that go in for?
I know, exactly. But people, I feel like it's one of those famous cases of rewriting something. Like, people are like, he's no back, right? He's no cut. He's like, so I had the pleasure of being at the pre-match press conference on Wednesday, and that was one of the first questions. Any update on Christopher Jillian? And it was just the bluntest answer Ange gave. It was just
Seems fed up about talking
it was
about it.
No, I'll tell you when there's an update. But to me, obviously, that indicates I don't think he's anywhere near coming back. I don't know if he's got a future at Celtic at this point, because the back line is so settled. He's no sign of coming back yet. It's such a dodgy one.
I think we're not going to sell him or nothing, but I think if he comes back, he doesn't walk straight back. As we had that debate, who's getting replaced when Julian comes back? He's not replacing MD, but it's Christopher Julian. It's not, you can't turn your nose up at having a player like Christopher Julian as an option at centre half. Something that we've lacked for a good couple of years now is good options at centre back, and we've got it there. Like, when he eventually comes back, that is. But I love Big Julian, man.
I do like him. I miss him.
I just wonder how much Anton McElhone's had a say in this, because there was talk about him coming back a couple of months ago.
Maybe November, I think, was the original.
It was like October.
And then, maybe this head of sports sciences came in and said, right,
he's not ready.
I don't be fucking daft.
I'd much rather him rush that in January, coming back in January, than getting rushed back and then it flaring up again.
No, what I miss, but the aerial threat at corners, man. Generally, we've got nothing at corners.
Every time we get a corner, I don't expect anything.
Nah.
I don't get excited. I don't get the edge of my seat.
Big Julian is massive, man, and he's got some leap on him.
Exactly. Towers over.
What was it? We all kept saying how he had more goals than Ryan Kent in the 2019-20 season.
Right,
banging him in, man.
Aye, he was. I do miss him.
He had a good passing range as well, like that.
He did. That's right.
He's just so tall and lanky looking, man.
Yeah, good player. He was someone.
As if he's gone. I mean,
it was one of Lenny's better signings.
7.5 million.
7.5 million. I keep forgetting about the price tag as well.
Crazy, that, isn't it?
He gave us a really good year of service though that year. So
we'll always have Lazio at home.
Yep, exactly. Hopefully he does come back. I know I'm saying I don't know how he'll come back or when he'll come back, but I do hope
it might just be down to people getting injured and he gets his chance coming back in.
And plus, we don't know if we're going to have Carter Vickers for much longer than a season.
£10 million they're wanting.
That was ridiculous. Because he's got a year left in his deal.
I know.
He's only got 1 year. They can't
But he made him sign it.
Get an extension
before he came.
Yep.
He knew we were going to want him, man.
$5 million. There you go.
Right, let's move on to the last couple of sections of today's show, because if you've never watched this, if you're an Axom regular and you've never checked out the Sellik Defender, then please do go over to the Spotify. You can find us on the Talk Scottish Football Podcast Network, or head over to my YouTube channel, Ryan118, and you can find all of the podcasts over there. We do them every week.
We try to.
We've got a good record.
I'm not always there, you know.
Kieran's, it's me and McGinley that are the regular faces. Yep. But Kieran, you do your bit, and Callum does his bit as well. So we can't disregard that. So feel free to come and check us out if you want. And let's talk about the last couple of segments. We always get questions in from the audience, and we also do a quiz as well. So if you like a quiz, stick around. It'll be McGinley versus Aldo on today's version of the Canny. No, it's not the Canny Play quiz. It's the If You Know Your History quiz. That's the question. Right, okay, I'm going to get up this Twitter quiz. You got anything you want to add before I start? Generally Celtic related or life related? Venoms related? Did you enjoy that photo of you bald?
Oh, right,
Kieran
Bald.
No, I'm happy that the world of Scottish football is engulfed in Kyogo at the moment.
Yes.
Good or bad.
Yes.
I like that. And also, I would like to publicly say I don't want us to go and sign John Sutter because I don't want a player nipping Kyogo.
Aye.
Did you see that?
I know. What, like, everybody's like, oh, look at him. I'm like, the fucking mark on him, man. I'm going doing that. I hate getting when people like, yeah, we pinch
this is the thing. Kyogo's doing the right thing by going down for all of these incidents because he won't get anything otherwise. He's got to bring attention to these incidents.
Yep.
Okay. It's a witch hunt. He's the best player in Scotland, so can't. Well, Jota Kyogo. Right.
First question's from Jordan Gray, friend of ours, went to Leverkusen, of course. Jai Garudeva. Is that what it says? The lyrics?
What?
Jai Garudeva. Jai Garudeva. Across the universe.
Oh, get on, mate, man.
It was me, honestly.
He says, when's the square jiggy? I think he's expecting Kieran and Paul John to be out throwing fists outside.
Oh, well, is it Celtic Twitter beef?
Aye, all beef has been squashed today.
They've put on a nice spread. They've given it a kind of
Listen, look, I'm just going to hold this up to the camera very quickly. Look at this. The service, the cakes. I've never tried one of these. I've always wanted to try one. So that's mine. There's a full spread, a buffet out. Paul John offered me a cup of tea. Brilliant. There's no beef here.
Treated like kings.
And obviously we've done the long travel. So there's no square jiggy. Second question, Stevie from GigPod, absolute legend himself.
He is on fire on Twitter.
Oh, yes,
the past couple of weeks been brilliant.
Will Dundee take heading off the Leroy Fairs today? Oh, doesn't it look like it?
No,
I like that, the Leroy Fairs. Never heard that one before. Archie asks, can we go through December dropping any points without dropping any points?
We need to.
Yeah.
We need to, but it's the fixture list is, when you look at it, it's brutal, man. But I don't know if we've got any serious ambition of challenging for this league title. This is a month where you prove that you're actually going to do it.
Yep. Right.
Yeah, I think we've got to go. We've got to win every single game. Just looking at that Betis game, thinking put the reserves out for that game.
Yep.
Don't care. I'll still go to it, but I'll be happy to see all the reserve players.
That's going to be a weird one. Having to actually go to that.
Didn't even touch on that. I forgot that was one thing that was meant to be.
I don't think Kimber really wants to. It's nothing to talk about now.
Genuinely the most rubber game you're going to have all season. As much as it's a European night, it's a shame to say it, but the
best thing to see in that game will be all the players in the stands, hopefully.
Yep. See, there's a difference if it was like, say you're already through in Europa League, everybody's kind of buzzing in that, and it's a dead rubber, and it'll still be a decent night. But now that we've actually, I know we're still in like a competition, but we've dropped down, so it kind of, I don't know, deflated. I just feel a bit deflated with it, don't you?
Just happy we don't need to meet up with Dortmund.
Oh, I hope Rangers get Dortmund.
Yeah.
That would be so funny, man. Haaland against them. Oh, I think it's
Haaland against Goldson.
Oh, what
a great.
What a laugh. Right, if you could pick any away day outside of Europe, what would you be picking? That's from Cal Luke Trackler. I don't know how you say this.
So what, just anywhere in the world?
Yeah. Also, in the chat, feel free if you want to get involved, get some questions in. We'll throw up a couple as well. Anywhere outside Europe. I'd like to go to Ange's homeland, I think.
I was thinking that, but I just thought I wanted to be a pure good Boca Juniors.
Either or, Boca Juniors or
River Plate, like somewhere in Argentina, because their fans are mental.
Yep.
I mean, I wouldn't want to get killed, you know. But
I've a bit of an affinity with obviously Japan now, so a couple of those ones would be quite good as well.
Yep, nah.
It's a totally different atmosphere.
I know, in Japan, it's a day out to go to football. Like, I can't imagine too many people are that into it. Like,
It's very much like a dojo as well.
Because
Like,
it was for a
dojos are quite
Celtic.
quiet.
If it was a Celtic game you were going to, though, where would you want to go? Think of all the benefits you get. Like, I think I would like to see Celtic play in America. Not one of those fucking, we're having the SPFL Premiership match day 42 here in Los Angeles. None of that. You know, I don't want anything like
just
that.
playing
Just
that.
Friendly. You know,
I'd bet every time we get a goal kick.
that would be a buzz, but I'll stick my answer with Boca Juniors or something.
All right, okay.
I think that'd be
Argentina.
Yeah, I'd say the same, I think.
Argentina.
Yeah.
I'm going to go America. I want to go back in America.
I just want to go to South America.
Imagine like 80,000 Celtic. I don't think 80,000 would travel for a friendly to America, right? But imagine
You never know it. Do it in the summertime.
I know. Imagine like 60,000 Celtic fans packing out something like, I don't know, the Levi's Stadium. That would be magic.
Amazing.
Aer Lingus will need to put on some cheaper flights, man.
Sitting there travelling. Yeah, you here to see the Boston Celtics tonight?
It'd be good if they could time it at the same time as the sort of Las Vegas convention as well.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
That'd be great.
I was thinking
Look at us planning a friendly in America
if
for
anybody at the
Celtic.
club is listening, get it done.
Celtic were supposed to play Dundee.
Aye,
at some
that was
point.
nuts, man.
That's
They went to like Philadelphia or something.
Like, the Premier League is ever so close, becoming closer to being one of those leagues that are going to have a match in America. And it's going to be disastrous when it happens. Like, the fans
Is the French league not having to play games in China?
Yeah,
right, that's
think so.
nuts, man.
I mean, obviously, the NFL come over. The NFL is so different, but
Aye, that's franchises,
that's franchises. It's also a centralised sport. Football is a world sport. You know, it's got football's everywhere. They don't need to take. Your club is your club of your city, your scheme, your place. Not for the world. It's for that place. I know that
NFL's got a relatively big following in the UK, I'd say, but plenty of people watch it.
I just thought that Dundee Celtic game, and I'm just thinking of Paul McGowan going through customs. That'd be absolutely.
Even to get in America, man.
With 10 men.
You better shave that off, fella.
You're better off, man.
Let's see. How do you think we'll go to the Conference League? We'll leave that because obviously Conference League talk will come in February, so we'll wait.
Can't really talk about it until you get a draw.
Exactly. It's always a useless.
Wait, would the draw be next Friday then?
Oh, it might be.
Oh, I love it. I mean, I know it's covered. I love a draw, man.
Welcome to the UEFA Conference League.
You just know we're getting the hardest one possible,
This
don't
is
you,
the
man?
round of 32. Celtic will take on FC Barcelona. Don't know how the competition, but they're there. But Barcelona has not a kick in the arse after the Conference League, fuck's sake. We've shot it out tomorrow. Would you like to see Montgomery play further up the pitch and maybe allow someone else to play at left back with him at left wing? That's Harry Fleming.
It's a nice idea, but I'd much rather play Forrest on the left than Ahmad on the right, because we've seen that work before.
Yep. Aye, I think it's a bit too not really experimental as such, because he obviously has a left winger, but I don't see it happening.
And the final question: should Johnson be loaned out in January?
I think we might be past the point of loans. I said a loan would have done him good, but I don't know if it still would. I think the time for that was maybe a couple of years ago.
Can I just
highlight a big deal?
Can I just highlight that the person that asked this question's account is Nicholas Sturgeon is hot. That's the account name.
Wow.
That's the account name. Someone is down bad.
Down
atrocious.
Down fucking extravagantly. Yeah, so that's pretty much all the questions. But the other thing about loaning Johnson out, it's a very nice thought in theory. But Celtic in the position right now to be loaning out players, we need to bring players through the door first, I think, before we start just chucking folk out. Okay, I'm going to see if there's any questions sitting around here just before we move on to the final segment, the quiz. You've got anything you want to see, lads?
I think January will be interesting.
It's going to be fun.
I know.
It's going to be a fun month.
Where is it the team's gone then? Is it like...
It's not been said exactly where yet. I'd imagine it was like somewhere like in Austria or something. We're going to go here, something like that. I mean, depends what's happening with this omnibus variant or whatever it is. Omicron. Is that what it's called?
Omnibus.
That's what we were saying on the way up the stairs. Matthew Duff says I think he thinks it's Portugal. I'm going to ask if they can take me with them, fuck's sake. I could go a wee holiday to Portugal.
Just back to Germany, like you say.
Someone's saying about Nisbet in January, guys. I think he's not done himself any favours for a Celtic move.
Today.
Oh, did he? There we go.
I don't think he's good enough for Celtic.
He's been shite this season.
He's been mince this season.
I think last season I was on board with it just because of how terrible we were last year.
Was it a desperation, wasn't it?
If he starts to prove it again, then fair enough, but I still don't know if I'm sold on him.
By that logic, we should be going for Marley Watkins then, because he's scored twice for Aberdeen today.
Marley Watkins. I'll shit my hands and clap. Right, let's go on to the final segment of the show. I don't have my sound effects this week. Usually the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire tune is blaring out at this stage.
Done for copyright anyway.
Aye, I know exactly. Well, I never get done for copyright off that.
Chris Tarrant's giving you a buy.
Chris Tarrant's not in charge anymore, mate. You should know
Clarkson.
that. You should know that. I've just realised I had a comment sitting up on the screen there for ages. It didn't have any relevance to what we were saying, so apologies. It's time for the quiz then, boys. The Axom special quiz. We should have got like Paul and Paul John in or something to do the quiz.
Head to head.
Used two against Tony and Paul John. That would have been a good laugh.
Conferring for answers.
Right. So I'll get the quiz up. Who is going first? Set A or set B? I'll flip a coin.
Do you have a coin?
I don't have a coin.
We should really start bringing coins to these.
I'll flip Paul's laptop. Whoa, sorry, Paul. Right, I'll just have to. Who won the last quiz? You?
Yeah. Was that the VAR one?
That was a while ago.
McGinley, you've got a pretty good record, mate. So pick set A or set B.
I'll go for set B.
I was trying to think what the last quiz I done was. Maybe it's Cal.
So you're going set B. So Kieran Alder's first up to the penalty spot. Get involved in the chat, lads. If you enjoy a wee quiz, it is the final segment of our show here on the Axon channel. So yes, let's get it done.
It's a good show.
It's been a good show. It's been a really good show.
I prefer having sitting like this.
Do you like this? Do you prefer about this? Let's see if
it feels like maybe a normal conversation. Even when you've got the camera right in front of you, it feels.
For the next day, I don't know if you can or not.
If I can move.
No, I mean if you can move. No, for next time.
Oh, right.
Don't move the now. You're already.
No, that involves a 2-camera edit for Ryan.
Yes, I'm going to have to hire an editor, I think, because I want to be able to sit and confer like this and look at.
It's more authentic, isn't it?
It is more authentic. I wonder. Let us know what you think. If you've been new to the Celtic Defender, by the way, if you've been watching this and you aren't a regular viewer of our podcast, let us know what you think. Any feedback is appreciated. Any constructive criticism.
Or any harsh criticism, I'll take it.
Kieran will take it. Kieran just gets called an alcoholic every week anyway, so,
I need to take it, didn't you?
Right, here we go then. Question number 1. We'll start with you, Kieran Alden. Here we go. Fabrizio Romano. Celtic have not received a red card in the league so far this season. True or false?
Oh. I genuinely can't think of him just off the top of my head, so I'll just say true. I don't know.
It is true. Well done. Correct answer.
Last one was Michelin, wasn't it?
Yes. However, we have picked up 16 yellow cards, the lowest amount in the SPFA. We're
football.
Disciplined side.
See, we're bringing this new wave.
Side. No red cards in the league, only 16 yellow cards. Ange ball, baby. Different. Right, 1-0 to Kieran. Here we go. Question number 1 for you, Ryan. Celtic have never had a Serbian player. True or false?
Serbian? Where was Yari from? He's from Czech Republic.
That's a good question.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of all the loan players.
By the way, if you're new, McGinley loves taking his time and answers, by the way.
I'm in Eggheads where they confer, where they sort of explain their answers.
Fucking Sean Wallace.
I'm going to go for true because... Is it true?
It's false. There has been a Serbian player. Would you like to take a stab in the dark at who it is?
Absolutely not.
Or did you say there hasn't been?
There hasn't been.
I meant true as in...
Fuck off.
Genuinely being... That was me not listening. It's my fault.
Yeah, you got like the first... What's the first rule of being a quizzer? As Mark the Beast always says, yes. You listen to the question, man. Don't be disrespectful. What'd you say?
Go with your cousin. He goes with his second cousin.
I thought it's just you go. I thought you bit back that you go with your cousin.
What? Does he go with his cousin?
I think he does. Dirty bastard.
No, do that. So there has been a Serbian player. Would you like to take a stab in the dark? A few people in the chat have already got it. They'll play if you have. I'll throw it up on screen.
No.
Stefan Skepovic.
Oh.
There you go. Stefan Skepovic. So 1-0 as we head into questions number 2. Well done to everybody in the chat who's got it right there. Question 2. Swedish international Karl Starfelt was awarded man of the match on Tuesday night. Name another Swede that Celtic have signed during the 21st century.
What actual permanent deal?
Yes.
Bastard. Lustig.
He's not put Lustig down, but you're correct. Yeah, of course. Lustig is one. Matthew's not put down Lustig, but that's right. So the other players that Celtic have signed in the 21st century, apparently, Daniel Majstorovic and Freddie Ljungberg.
Number
I still
7.
remember that, yes, because obviously Mjalby and Larson.
Did he play against Berwick Rangers? He played against Berwick Rangers, I'm sure I remember that.
So I'll give you that. Kieran, well done. Matthew Duff, shout out to him for making the quiz, by the way, but you fucked up there. You forgot Lustig. So good thinking, Kieran. Question number 2 for you, Ryan. Celtic Academy graduate Stephen Welsh made his senior debut against which current Scottish Championship team?
Hamilton.
I wouldn't have got that. Honestly.
I remember it. We played it right back.
There you go. That was a 4-1 win over the Ackies on 2nd of
Jillian
February.
scored twice.
I mean, it could only have been 2, really.
Aye, come on, look, that's right. Aye.
Plastic pitch for sure.
Right, question number 3 for you, Kieran. It's 2-1 to you at this moment in time. Which decade did Celtic last have the colour red on their home strip?
Oh,
well done to everybody in the chat, by the way,
Oh,
for the correct answers.
decade. 80s.
Well, Declan McConville's in the chat, so shout out to Declan. In the 80s, you saying?
I'm thinking that People's.
You're
thing.
wrong. That was the 90s.
Was that the 90s?
Yes, it's the 90s. The People's sponsor was red for the 91-92
I
season.
thought it was going to be like 89.
A lot of people being tricked out.
I
I think
the 50s.
a lot of people saying, someone said the 30s. I think they're thinking back to
actual
the old
crest.
red badge, but no, it's a trick question, isn't it? Now, well done to Kenny. Kenny got it right.
Capitalist
KS
as well.
Caretaker's got it right. Well done. So it's currently still 2-1. Right, there's a good chance to equalise up here. For your third question, Celtic have been drawn against Barry Ferguson's Alloa Athletic in the Scottish Cup. What was the score the last time the two teams faced? It was 2016.
Yep, you remember it.
Jim
I
Goodwin
know
was
it.
playing for Alloa that night.
That's nuts, man.
Aye. What was the score?
I don't know if they scored. 4-0?
2-0.
2-0.
Forest scored.
Forest and
Dembele.
Dembele.
Dembele
Was that
scored.
penalty?
I don't know. It was just a two.
Was
It was. That was because
a
that was the wee
penalty?
run where yous were all going, oh, he's just scoring penalties and stuff. I remember that.
Happens.
Am I thinking 4?
A lot of people getting the right answer. Declan
That
McConville. Declan McConville in with his 2-0. He was right there. Kenny 67 right again. Kenny's doing well here. He got and yeah, a lot of good answers. Darth Listerless, he said 5-1, a wee bit ambitious, but yes, well done everybody.
We were used to that in 2016, 17.
So still 2-1 to Kieran as we head into question 4. Celtic's Stan Petrov, who was part of the Seville team, joined the club from which Bulgarian side?
I'm going to just guess. Is it CSK Sofia?
Correct answer. Yes, he joined from CSKA Sofia for a fee of around £3 million. He was then sold to Aston Villa for £9 million. 7 years
big money, man.
later.
What
Yep.
player?
What a player.
If I could take,
Brilliant
take
player.
one player apart from Larson.
Rolls Royce of a player.
Take one player.
Good question, eh?
One player apart from Larson, you'd take Petrov, I think, box to box. If you could take them in their prime, obviously.
So, good question that. If you could take one player for the Seville team, who would you take?
Apart from
Apart
Larson.
from Larson.
Hmm.
I think I would go for. We don't really need a right back just now. I was going to say maybe Didier Agat because he was just brilliant.
Just pure pace and power.
Yep.
He was a striker,
I
wasn't
don't know who
he?
I'd take. Go on, get Neil Lennon.
Barrel Lenny.
Could you imagine him and Ange?
I'll take a gap.
Got Lambert in that as
Take
well.
a gap. Didier Agat.
I'll go for Petrov. I think he'd suit this team to a T.
Petrov.
I'll go Petrov.
Petrov as well. Okay, good question as Kieran goes up 3-1, which means you must get this right, McGinley. A lot of people, so I've asked the question in the chat today and I'll see what people are saying. A lot of people saying Bobo Baldi. A lot of people go for Big Bobo is one of the popular ones. Yeah, don't you?
He's a good defender.
Don't be disrespectful.
Don't be disrespectful. Kevin Graham, he's saying Petrov as well. He's in agreement with you two lads. Pinball says everybody.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. That's a caveat. Sutton, someone saying Chris Sutton. Lubo. I don't think was he there as long for Seville?
No,
He left. Nah, he wasn't there for Seville. Tomo, a good shout from Tony Cassidy as well. Of course, Alan Thompson, a fantastic player. Yeah, okay. Kieran, to potentially be the winner. No, Ryan, that's your question. To potentially be the loser. Your question. Manchester United defeated Arsenal 3-2 on Tuesday night. Name 5 former Celts who have played for either club.
Former Celtics played for either.
Either Arsenal or Manchester. That's a good question.
So Roy Keane.
Roy Keane, correct.
Liam Miller.
Correct.
Henrik Larson.
Correct.
Oh dear.
There's one that should be
dear.
standing out, obvious. There should be, yes.
Aye. There really should be one.
There should be one that's pretty fucking obvious.
Screaming in your ear, man.
Aye.
Is this Man United and Celtic?
And Arsenal.
Oh, and Arsenal.
Aye.
Oh, Arsenal.
Aye,
KT.
aye. Yep, there you go. That's the one I was talking about. Obvious.
And Ian Wright.
And Ian Wright. Brilliant. Perfect answer. Keeps you in the game. The list that I was given, I see everybody chipping in their answers in the chat. Well done, everybody. What?
Plenty you could go.
A couple of you, a couple that you might not know as well. I never realised Louis McCarry. He was one of the options. Lundberg, of course. Charlie Nicholas. Champagne Charlie. He was one. We've got Roy Keane, Tierney, John Hartson, played for Arsenal, of course, the most expensive teenager when he signed for Arsenal. Ian Wright, as you said, Brian McClare, another one.
Tony's best pal.
Yeah, Tony's best pal. Louis McCarry, Liam Miller, and there's a list that goes on. Dion Dublin, a few good shouts in here as well. Dion Dublin being said. Yeah, a lot of good names in there. Well done to everybody. Seti Yanko, there's another one as well. Seti Yanko, that's right. Played for Manchester United.
Sure, there's Ali Adair.
Oh, Christ, aye. Jeez, oh.
Don't get extra points.
No. Paddy Credent.
I'd be doing quite a bit.
Thankfully, not Jimmy McGrory. Yeah, I heard the Jimmy McGrory story about the move to Arsenal. You ever heard? My dad tells me this all the time. So Jimmy McGrory was meant to sign for Arsenal. It was like a record transfer at the time. He said, I'm not want to go. I want to stay at Celtic. The board were raging. I think they took £2 off his wages or something like that. Took £2 a week off his wages for not going to Arsenal because they never got the money, obviously.
Wow.
Aye. My dad
you should have a statue outside Celtic Park when you look at what he done.
There's a shout. Tyler Blackett. There's one as well. Played for Manchester.
What was the game? He was at Mulder. He came on and came off.
Good names. Right, let's get in. Last questions. Kieran, this could be the winning question. This could be the winning question right here. I was signed by Celtic from can't even fucking say this. Tilly Allen.
Are you taking a piss?
Tilly Allen Juniors. That's it.
I don't know.
Tilly Allen Juniors. I think that's how you say it. I was signed from Celtic from Tilly Allen Juniors. I was part of the Quality Street gang. I was given my debut age 16 by Jock Steen. Who am I?
I genuinely don't know.
You going to pass?
No, I'm not going to pass. I'm going to say somebody. I don't know. I'll just go with Dalglish in Quality Street.
Is that your answer?
I'm going to just go for it.
It's a wrong
answer.
Do you have a guess, Ryan?
Danny McGrain wasn't in the Quality Street gang, was he? No.
Yeah, I think so. Get Paul John and he'll know.
Got a book about it.
But a lot of people getting the right answer. Magnet 67, Kenny 67, Willie as well. Final guess, Ryan. It's my dad's favourite ever Celtic player, George Conley. George Conley is the correct answer. Well, everybody to get my dad loves Conley. Always says if he kept going, he would have been the best player of the time. He just loves him. And then finally, Ryan, the big question to maybe take it to a tie-breaker.
We're dragging this already, man.
I know. Fucking Tony Curran sitting over there. Right. I have played for Liverpool, Manchester City, and Arsenal before I joined Celtic. I have a famous song about me, and I joined Celtic's coaching staff after I retired. Colo Toure.
I hate that Dick Matthew.
Beautiful human being. Colo Toure. He came in, they coached the players. Done a wee bit of coaching here.
What's his favourite song? Whitney Houston.
The fan song. Don't laugh, me. Right, okay.
I love him to bits.
Brilliant, everybody else there. I got the right answer. Well done, Colo Toure, which means it is the tiebreaker question, boys.
Is this what we want to get my calculator for again?
I said calculator.
The tiebreaker, right? You ready, boys?
Yes.
Despite Robbie Nielsen's comments on Tuesday night, Celtic created many chances in the match. How many more expected goals did Celtic have in the match than Hearts? How many more expected goals did Celtic have in the match? Kieran, you're up first.
Oh, I don't know.
Closest scoffing at Matrix.
Closest answer wins.
I don't believe in it, mate.
Closest answer.
I don't even know what's going to be a ridiculous thing to say here.
Just whatever you feel like, mate.
It's 3.
3, okay. McGinley.
I don't know whether to go higher or lower.
Shaky
Oh,
or shaky,
no,
right?
man.
Brucey.
I'm just thinking of the chances that they had. I'm going to go higher. I'm going to go...
Somebody's been 12.
I'm going to go 4.
Right, final answer's locked in. Just to throw up some of the suggestions. Magnet67 says 1.6. Killian says 2. Kenny says 3. Kevin says 4.
I was going to say...
the amount of
I was going to say 2 initially.
Martin Johnson said 22. Fucking hell, some people are aiming high. The winner of this week's Select the Thunder quiz is... It's Mr. Kieran. Oh, well done, Kieran. You're the winner. The correct answer was 1.75. Celtic had 2.75 in the match, and Hearts had 1, so 2.75. Take away your 1, leaves you with a 1.75. So Kieran holds your winner. Well done. I think the closest in the chat there, who had a really good quiz, I think, was Magnet67. He was quite close there. Well done, Magnet. And Matthew Duff says, take back your comments, Kieran.
Take back nothing.
That's it. That's the end of the show, and that brings us to what has been a fantastic episode of the Sellik the Thunder podcast. I'm very glad to have you two alongside me. Thank you very much for joining me.
Just laughed up.
Don't be disrespectful. We'll be back next week on our own channel. So if you have been watching for the first time, you've never seen us before, then please make sure to head over to the Sellik the Thunders page on Spotify, Twitter, or the Ryan 118 YouTube channel. And thank you for everybody joining in with the show and the quiz and everything. I really do appreciate it. Thank you to all the kind comments as well there live. But we'll let Paul John get his studio back now and enjoy the rest of the big charity weekender here on Axom. It's been a pleasure. Get donating, and we'll see you all